Hi guys, welcome to GTA 5. This is the final heist in the GTA 5. This is a Pacific Standard job that we're going to be looking at. And I'm going to show you the safest way to do this to try and maximize your money. Unfortunately, I had a random plane in this game that basically did his own thing and caused us to have to restart probably 3 or 4 or 5 times. Which, at the end of the day, we still made a bunch of money, which is okay, but I'd definitely try and get people that are at least willing to listen to the lead of the heist. If they're not, you probably want to find someone else and make sure they have mics, because without mics and without the communicating, you're just going to lose money, right? So at minimum, I think you want to make $1 million at this heist. At absolute minimum, if you don't make $1 million, then I would suggest you restart. I think you could probably make between 1.2 and 1.1 and 1.2 million if you play it right. So make sure it's on hard. So if it's on hard, you get an extra 200,000 that you can play with, which is great, because if you make any mistakes, then you still stay above that $1 million limit, right? So anyway, let's get started and let's do a quick walkthrough. I will post someone else's video in the description. Please do watch his video, because he made some really valid points. He was all about the money. He made some good suggestions. I didn't actually follow through with what he did. I tried to, but I couldn't get everybody to actually follow through. And when we did try it, unfortunately, we ran into cops and we died, so we didn't bother. So mine's going to kind of follow half his method, and then we're going to just continue with the track that you typically would take. So this is really just to if you got any riders in your group that are fairly weak at riding bikes, like myself. I'm not really good at riding bikes, so this should help them. It's a really safe way. It keeps the cops away from you, and it's pretty straightforward, and I think relatively easy for someone if they can't actually ride bikes, or even if they can ride bikes. This is a relatively safe method. You'll notice in the other video that I'll post in the description that the guy recommends only taking 2 bikes, which is kind of a valid point, but when you try and boost off them, it gets a little tricky, and if you don't jump properly, then you can die. So anyway, so we're just gonna head in the bank. One thing you want to make sure of is you don't want noose to come. So noose is basically when the SWAT vans show up, and once those guys show up, you basically should restart, because they're going to just pound you and make your life very difficult. So if one of the crowd control guys screw up and don't shoot a hostage, or don't let the intimidation bar get too low, then noose is going to show up. So make sure that your first crowd control guy goes into the room to the left as we go into the bank here. If both of them stay outside, then noose will come. You do not want noose to come, absolutely right. So and you'll know when news comes, because you'll see these SWAT vans show up all over the map and just make your life a living hell, right? So just make sure you're talking to people, communicating. As soon as the door opens, make sure that the crowd control guy goes through there. Some cops do show up at the top. Make sure you kill them. Actually, both crowd control guys can actually shoot the cops. So the guy that actually stays in this room that we're in at the moment, if you position yourself near the door, you can actually see the stairway just to the right at the top here. And so if the guy in this room actually misses one of the cops, you can actually shoot him. So I've seen guys die in this room and stuff. They just didn't realize the cops were coming, things like that, to wreck your mission, right? So just position yourself just kind of near the doorway to at the back there. You'll be able to see the stairs. Have both guys kind of watching the stairs when the cops come. Make sure you keep the intimidation bar up. Make sure you don't kill any hostages, because basically if you do, then it's fairly game over. I think I did kill a hostage and noose didn't come, so maybe it's 1 or 2 hostages, or maybe we got lucky that it didn't detect it, right? So anyway, so we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna do a quick hack here. If you do the hacking under 30 seconds, then I think you get some extra points or something. I don't think it's too relevant. So do the quick hack. It's pretty straightforward. Make sure the guy that is going to do it knows how to hack, otherwise you're wasting time, right? Pretty straightforward. I just take a fairly safe way. You can click on multiple letters if you're really quick. I've seen people do it. I just take the safe approach, do 1 at a time, otherwise you have to restart the whole thing and you just waste an extra time. So okay, good to go. The hack is done, the doors are open. We're going to get into the safe, demolition, or open the second or the last or final door, third door, and then we'll grab the money, and then we'll head upstairs.
cops and towards our boat. Stay together or go a different way if you want, but this will be the safest route. Come on, move! I like the way you operate. If this job had gone different, we'd be dealing with a whole lot more cops. You don't want to hang around out there and follow the route as quick as you can.
are a couple of rocks in this area, so just be careful. Just go slowly. Again, you know, you guys can do a dry run. We're gonna head up to this hill up here, and just to the right, as you can see, we're avoiding all the cops coming below. They're really not difficult to avoid if you do go below, but this one's just really the safer bet. I mean, why interact with them when you don't need to, right? And then we're gonna head down this path, very safe, easy slope down to the bridge. Make sure you avoid any traffic. Sometimes you have to go to the left here because cops do show up. It's easy to avoid these cops as long as you use your brake. As I mentioned earlier, they really don't know what you do. They're trying to anticipate what you're going to do. If you slow down, they kind of you kind of spook them almost, and they kind of go into shock here, right? And you just take it easy. They like to back up like this guy there, but as you notice, he's not jumping out trying to shoot you. He's kind of just trying to slow you down. They really know what you do, so pretty safe and easy to use your brake. Very important tool as part of this heist. Just brake, very straightforward. Even if you did take all the roads, then you know it's pretty easy to brake. So once you're on these roads, it's pretty straightforward. You know, cops don't really show up. There's about 3 cops that will show up. You notice there's no helicopters behind me. No real cops on the road stopping you or taking money from us. You know, the guys that are going the other route probably lost the most money than this route, right? You also notice there weren't cops at the beginning of the tunnel. Typically there's a cop on each side of the tunnel that are there, but they're harmless. They won't actually do anything. You can just drive straight through them. So just kind of slow down when you come out of the tunnel. There's going to be a couple more cops. Don't go up the left side of the road where this cop car is. That goes up to the nudist place, so you don't want to go there. So you kind of want to just veer to the right of this cop car or that road there. And you're going to kind of head straight here, right? And there's one more cop that's going to show up on the road here that'll take some pot shots. Just make sure your health is good, and that, you know, I think if you have at least half health, you're probably fine. Or you can just stop here. There's, again, no cops in the area, so plenty of time. We've got 3 minutes. The timer ends once you reach the boat, so you don't have to actually get to the final marker. In the 3 minutes, you just need to get to the boat. So you can stop here, take a few seconds and fill up your armor and make sure that you're good to go, right? So he has a cop on the right. He'll take a few shots at you, but just keep on going slow. Yeah, no need to rush. You know, I see people flying off the edges. Yeah, you're taking a lot of damage and stuff, and causing your money to go down. Right? So take it easy. You know, especially the front guys. You know, they could have just gone slowly. You know, we were way behind them, so you know they didn't even need to rush. But they were the guys that lost us the most money, right? So. Anyway, so as we're nearing this final yellow marker, slow down. The bridge veers to the right, and if you're going quite fast, you'll go off the bridge and down, and again you lose money, and plus you might not be able to get up to the top. I mean, sometimes you can get up to the top as long as you don't go to the right of the bridge. So as you can notice, I'll slow right down here, take a pause, and then at the end of the bridge, I'm going to hit the boost turbo, hit on the left thumbstick, hit Y. Make sure people know to hit Y and A. Not everyone. If somebody's playing this for the first time, they don't necessarily know to hit Y to jump off. Just make sure they understand the hit Y and then A to parachute. And just take it slowly down. You don't need to try and make it and jump into the boat unless you really want to achieve that. But another thing is a lot of people die when parachuting. The safest way to parachute is you hit your bumper buttons, your left and right bumper button on your Xbox controller, or probably your R1, your R2 on your PS4 controller. And then, you know, you won't die if you're hitting your bumper buttons. You can go straight forward to the ground and you will not die as long as you got your bumper. So if you do have people that can't parachute or don't land, of course you always got the wise guy who thinks he can land and dies, but yeah, if you don't want to die, just make sure everyone hits their bumper buttons, and then you can do an absolute safe landing, not just for this heist, but for other things, and just parachuting in general. I mean, I see people, you know, parachuting from helicopters and dying all the time. Even last night we're playing, you know, the one where you do the first, I think it's the first setup in Heist 4, and the guy died for jumping in a helicopter. Could have just stayed in the helicopter, we all could have got to the end of the mark, but we had to restart. The guy was a complete idiot, right? But anyway, so it is what it is. I've also heard about people taking crewmers. They patched the fact that you can't get 4 people on a single crewmer, but if you all had your own crewmers, you can probably all make it, yeah. And then, you know, I've heard people taking sea sharks and meeting up with the boat with the sea shark. And so there's different methods. You should try them and test what works for you to try and get the maximum amount of money. It's all fun. Rockstar GTA allows you to do that, so try it, test it, and enjoy. I mean, if you're doing this multiple times, try different things, right? Because, you know, it kind of gets boring. So I'm sure we will be seeing different ways to do this, right? But that's it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video, please hit that like button and please consider subscribing to the channel. Enjoy.
Weirdos with talent. You rob and you steal and destroy like geniuses. Oh, I love it. I love it. Here, let me wire you your money. You know, I will never forget the good times, all the laughs we had. You're like family. The picnic, and the hike in the woods, all the selfies. Oh, and the time we rollerbladed and we watched the sunset and we stayed up all night talking and sharing our innermost. That wasn't you? I'm a little embarrassed.